Introspect, take a sec, watch it step, where you step, when you step, falling free through the sky, feel the breeze, feel the eye, all your fears, let them die, energy never lies, introspect, take a second, let your world unfold.
You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day.
Ready to go.
This is this well, Softer and Calmer. I don't think you're Softer and Calmer, but this song reminds me of you.
We know that this is one of your all-time favorites.
Have you heard this? Have you guys heard this yet?
I have.
How is this even anything close to soft and calm?
And they were dead serious though. That's the thing that gets me. They were dead serious.
Listen, she was sweating down her collar.
She was.
The beat
bridge.
goes though. The beat goes nice.
Their drummer doing his thing in the pocket.
Look. In that pocket, boy, I tell you.
I'm gonna shoot my shot at Taylor Rooks, and by shooting my shot, I mean I'm gonna try to see if we can get her on the show.
Hey, I'm with it. Listen, anything is possible right now. Anything is possible.
Why? Because we're gonna knock you out for the Lord. We some headbusters. Did y'all see the girl in the back though? That was like
I've never seen or heard this thing until now. And
You didn't see it? No.
Wait.
What chat did you post it in though? See? You posted in one of our chats.
I think
you posted
chat.
it. You did post it in Craft Factory chat.
I think so.
I'm gonna be real. I don't click on every link that's posted.
Listen,
That makes sense. Thanks.
I don't even click on the links I post.
you used to be posting
You just
stuff.
be posting
Hey,
stuff.
hey, check this out. Check this out.
Thanks.
You ruined my morning though this morning with that tweet from Jaden McNeil, which we will address.
Bruh,
In a
that was
moment.
the first thing I woke up to. And I'm just like, cause you know what? You might as well kick it off with the intro.
Yep. Well, we are back at it again. Happy Taco Tuesday. This recording will actually be on Taco Tuesday. For you guys. Yeah. Welcome to Let 'Em Speak. Let 'Em Speak, episode 7. 7, a great number.
Siete.
That's thank you for watching on I almost forgot my intro. Thank you for watching on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Thank you so much. If you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, we thank you so much for listening. This is episode 7 of season 2. Let's not get it twisted. We had season 1. There's a whole bunch of other episodes. So this is not just episode 7 of the whole entire podcast. But this is season 2, episode 7. We are back at it again on this lovely Tuesday with some great stuff on the docket. Got my good buddies Abe and Osa.
You mean the
live.
soft and calm
The
is?
soft and calm.
Softer and calmer.
Sorry.
Softer and calmer.
There's been people that's actually told Osan, I believe, that Abraham is the softer and calmer version of Osan. And I don't think that is true whatsoever.
I thought it was reversed, but apparently
I thought it was
I
as
don't
well.
think that's-
Apparently, I'm the one with the suya in my life, the suya spice in your chest.
everything I thought was a lie.
Osan is the one that brings the tea in the morning. He bakes the tea.
Yeah.
You know, let the key.
I'm just
kettle
chilling
pot.
in the back, like no,
No, that's not it. That's
Oh
not it.
man.
I don't get involved in those shenanigans. That's
I
not
mean-
me.
I guess so. But we're back. We're here. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Moving to twice a week. So, and that's because of you guys.
Double
And
up.
God and God. We praise God for the blessing for that. But I'm gonna just start it off. I'm gonna just kick it off. Who's the better actor, Jamie Foxx or Will Smith? Wow.
I'm going Will just because the last Jamie Foxx movie I watched was crap.
Which one was that
Which
you
one
saw?
was
The one with T.I. where he's playing a cop
Oh, yeah.
and
I'm
his son
sorry.
gets kidnapped.
Yeah, I don't know why you do that to
It
yourself.
was garbage.
I mean, I was
Garbage.
like Jamie Foxx. You know, I love me some Jamie Foxx. There's nothing wrong with Jamie Foxx.
I
And
think
then
Jamie
watched
is
that movie.
Jamie's the better biographical biopic.
Oh,
actor.
easily.
Jamie
But
Foxx?
yeah,
Because,
he can.
Yeah.
Concussion was terrible.
Tell them the truth. Tell the truth.
It was just
was
like,
trash.
but overall, I enjoy Will Smith movies, as a whole more. Like,
canon.
not including the biographical stuff, because yeah, Jamie Foxx
Who's
did
gone?
a great job with in Ray. He
Yep.
did a great
Yes.
job in that.
Man.
But it's just, you know, you got Bad Boys 1 and 2. I still haven't seen 3 yet. You have Independence Day. You have I Am Legend. You have The Pursuit of Happiness.
7 pounds.
7 pounds. You know,
OG
you
movie.
have
Yeah.
Hitch.
you have some really
Hitch was
enjoyable
underrated.
movies.
Hitch was a good movie.
Hitch wasn't bad. Hancock was, you know,
Yeah, that was interesting.
I mean, at the time it was cool, but then when you let time pass and the era we are in now,
one
and
of
then
those
you
movies.
look back, it's just like,
Like,
This
yo,
is-
we really like that.
we really let
Hey,
this joint slide.
Hancock, the character would have fit in well in that Amazon show, The Boys.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That would have
Yeah.
been a it's crazy because I think Hancock is a DC
Mhm.
apparently, so it would have definitely have fit well with The Boys. I mean, we can't even forget Men in Black. That whole series was really good
Men in
because
Black.
of-
Yep.
Men in Black 1 it still holds up well in my opinion.
It stands the test of time. I
Yeah.
agree.
Will and Tommy Lee, they did a really good job, and it was funny. You know, I enjoyed it. When we go to Jamie Foxx, it's just like, and we're not even going to touch the shows because that's a whole nother debate between the Jamie Foxx show and the Fresh Prince. I feel like the Fresh Prince wins out because of the cultural impacts it
It
made.
was longer, right? The longevity.
It was longer, and also you had like the scandals, not even scandals, but the highlights, such as
Yeah.
the dark skinned Aunt Viv being replaced and how that started a whole like
Mhm.
faction of fans. You had when
The
Uncle
Side
Phil,
note, side note. Who
light-skinned
was your
dark-skinned.
favorite Aunt Viv? Who was your favorite Aunt Viv?
oh, the dark skinned Aunt Viv.
Dark skin.
Yo, that episode where she showed out at the class, at the
Oh,
fitness
yeah.
class, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
she got out and then she collapsed. She was like,
she
I'm
was
done.
way more expressive, way
Yeah.
more just outgoing
Mhm.
than the second Aunt Viv. Aunt Viv was like, well, the only thing she did well was like be a wife to Uncle Phil. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't really nothing
she
else.
lacked she lacked that character.
Yeah.
But then you had Uncle Phil and just his impact, and when he passed, it made
Uncle
people
Phil.
reminisce more.
Mm.
And I mean, it was as, even though it wasn't as realistic of a biography, it was low key autobiographical, you know. And that's what made it fun. You had a lot of good moments. The dad moment, Carlton ready to strap up and go to war on behalf of Will. Like it was just a lot of deep, like familial stuff that you could relate to, even though a lot of us who were watching it didn't grow up in that Bel Air type of home, you know?
Yeah.
So it was cool. So yeah, I'm gonna
I
put
would-
Will Smith above Jamie.
But and even with the Fresh Prince, the societal issues that it tackled still relevant today. I've seen people, you know, in the time that we're in right now, replaying, you know, snippets from the Fresh Prince that dealt with those things when Will and Carlton got arrested, basically because they were black, profiled because they were black, and Uncle Phil had to come down to the prison and raise Cain. When Will was trying to get into a fraternity, and they wouldn't, and he wanted to bring Carlton along, and they were like, nah, like. Not really. And they were like, nah, like we can't, he's not one of us. He's not black enough, essentially. And seeing how that was tackled. They covered a lot of ground with that show. Jamie Foxx, like I said, I think the better biopic actor, from Ray to he's going to do the Mike Tyson film, right?
Yes. That's why I want to know, like, will this,
Which
if
is
he does
funny
well.
too, because
If he does well, though.
Jamie's doing Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
It's funny
But
because
Will did Ali.
yeah, and Jamie was in Ali too.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
true.
That's
funny.
true.
Very true.
Yeah, Jamie, that's his niche. That man is a master
Yeah.
impersonator. Let's not forget Law-Abiding Citizen.
I enjoyed Law Abiding Citizen.
That's one of my all-time faves.
Any Given Sunday.
And he give like
Any
he
Sunday was the
By
Bro.
me saying Will Smith over Jamie is not to say that Jamie like isn't a good. Jamie has some great
Yeah.
projects.
yeah.
It's just that I feel like with Will, it's just consistently his projects are more consistently top tier.
What's
Because
the worst Will Smith film you've ever seen?
ooh,
Concussion,
probably
and it was just purely because of the accent. Purely because of the accent.
I mean, I could see that.
Concussion. Hancock was. I think that's
Hancock
more of a
would be
revelation.
next.
Like as you get older. Yeah, I was gonna say Hancock because I'm like, it wasn't good. But when you get older, you're like, yo, what is this trash? Like,
Yeah.
it was bad.
Hey, I'm
Did
not
y'all
gonna
ever
lie.
see Will
I
Smith's
enjoy
first
Shark's
movie?
Tale. I enjoy Shark Tale.
Will Smith and what?
Did you ever see Will Smith's first movie?
What was his first song?
6 Degrees of Separation?
I've heard about it, but I
Ooh.
never watched it.
I don't think I want to watch it.
You don't.
I
You
don't
don't.
want to watch it.
I appreciate y'all, so I'm gonna tell you don't. I love
Okay,
y'all.
so I'm not gonna
Just
do it.
don't do it to yourself.
All right, so then what's Will's best movie?
Ooh.
And then what's Jamie's best and worst film?
So for me, this is tough with Will.
Pursuit of Happiness is up there.
Pursuit of Happiness got me. That was one of the first movies I ever cried watching. Was Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
So
Happiness is
for
definitely-
you, is it because of the emotional impact? Because for me, best Will Smith movie, low key. Oh, I forgot about Wild Wild West.
That movie was straight hefty bag.
I enjoyed that movie though.
Put that in the hefty
It
bag.
was-
That
it
thing
was
went to
funny.
TNT so fast.
It was hilarious.
Do y'all remember the music video to the song, to the theme
Yes,
song?
yes,
Oh my
yes.
gosh. It was just
Okay.
Welcome to Miami
Wild
with
Wild
Cowboys.
West,
and
everybody
boots on.
hates it, but it was funny. But my favorite Will Smith movie is actually it's a toss-up between the first Men in Black and Independence Day. And it's more so just because Pursuit of Happiness is like one of his best emotional movies, definitely.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah.
get to you emotionally, but for me, it was just that first Men in Black, just everything about it. The whole thing about, oh, nah, aliens aren't real. Like, what is this? And then it turns out like, okay, they are real. Then you have him getting involved with this organization that's very proper and whatnot. And he clearly does not fit in. But like, how many of us experience that?
Yeah.
Where as black men, as black people who we are, doesn't fit in with this organization that's like, oh, we do things in shirt and tie, we all proper and whatnot. And then all of a sudden you come in and you add flavor to it. You just make it that much better. That's how I see Men in Black. I enjoyed it. Independence Day was just epic to me. I don't know. I mean, the common theme is aliens, so maybe I just have to
with Men in
Yeah.
Black, though, even think about it. Men in Black got a spin-off cartoon show as well out of it.
They did.
Yeah,
They did.
that wasn't bad. I think if Jamie Foxx, if you ask me best movie, I'm just going on a limb because I have high expectations. I think this next movie would probably be his best.
Wow.
Oh wow.
I think so because he has impersonated. He's
really good with those impersonations.
He has impersonated
Yeah.
Mike Tyson. He's been around Mike Tyson. He has literally trained his speech and trained little behaviors to be like Mike Tyson just for play. And now he's offered to do this role. The only thing he really has to do is just bulk up, which he's been doing. So
Yeah.
when you add everything else, it's like this might be one of his best. Again, that's my high expectation. But it's hard for me to say this will flop. It's really hard for me to say that this is going to be an average movie. I think it'll be a really good, and it might be a great potential to be great. Like that's how much pressure, if you will, I'm putting on this next one.
Okay.
Yeah,
I could
Bad
see
movie,
that.
Though, let me think. What's a bad movie? He
Sleepless.
do have some animated joints that I think Will and Jamie have animated joints.
Will has Shark's Tale,
Shark Tale.
which
Uh,
was I enjoyed it. I had
It
that
was
on
cool. It was
Shark Tale
cool.
was cool. Shark Tale was
early
cool.
DVD when it first came out.
Worst Jamie Foxx film.
Sleepless.
Oh, that one was.
That's the
Ooh,
one.
where
with
do you
T.I.
rank Bait? Remember Bait? Was it Bait? Is it called Bait? Jamie Foxx. He had to get his woman hostage. They were hostage, and there was a scene where it was a football game. He wasn't in it like an athlete, but he was like an officer. He was a cop. Got a lot of guns, a lot of violence. Bait. That's the title. I know it is too.
It is. It came out in 2000.
Yo,
So,
Jamie
yeah.
Foxx. Jamie Foxx does have quite the
I
catalog.
don't think
bro.
I actually watched Bait before.
Great White Hype, Booty Call, Players Club. Oh, Bait. Yeah, I didn't watch Bait.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at it.
I will say
Collateral.
For
I didn't
me-
like Stealth.
Stealth
No,
wasn't that.
I didn't.
I didn't like Stealth. I didn't like Miami Vice.
My advice is good.
I think for me, it's a toss up between Any Given Sunday and Django for best Jamie Foxx film.
For me, it's between Django and Law Abiding Citizen.
And I still gotta give it to Django.
I can't put Law Abiding Citizen above Any Given Sunday though. Any Given Sunday is just fire. Like that's a top 5 football film.
I can do it. I can do it, and I did it.
Law Abiding Citizen, like don't get me wrong, I enjoy Law Abiding Citizen.
And here's why I say Law Abiding Citizen. Law Abiding Citizen had something that I think all great stories need, and it is that tension. And but the kind of tension that I think that puts you in a place where you almost empathize with the villain. Okay, when you can empathize with a villain, I think a story is doing a great job. Please come on. You know you was empathizing with what is it? Clive Owen? No, not Clive Owen.
No,
Gerard Butler. With Gerard Butler's, character.
I mean, you can't really ask me because I empathize with a lot of villains, low key. So,
but you're the softer, calmer one.
Yeah, somehow when it comes to a movie, I'm like, who the villain? Yeah,
we got to remind you of that.
So, that for me, it's just like
it's natural for you.
Was just better,
I respect it.
Django is definitely better.
What's Any Given Sunday better than Rudy?
Anything is better than Rudy.
Anything.
I hate
Please
Rudy.
stop.
I don't know what people love about Rudy.
I don't know.
I'll be honest. I think the Lord of the Rings trilogy did more for Sean Astin's career than Rudy.
Oh, it absolutely did. It absolutely did. Him as Sam.
Samwise Gamgee.
You never watched Lord of the.
I've never.
Okay, hold on though. Before I go off. Okay, up until I think it was the beginning of this year, had not watched Lord of the Rings. No, it was the end of last year. Towards the end of I hadn't watched it, and I had a lot of friends who were like, "You've not seen Lord of the Rings?" And they said this, they said if you watch it, it must be the uncut, the director's cut. And I was like, oh, I guess. So I'm watching Lord of the Rings, right, on my little streaming service. And so I'm like, dang, these films are 4 hours long. I ain't got time for that. So I'm talking to a friend who's like, but here's the thing though. What I didn't know was on my streaming service, it was the director's cut. So I'm talking to a friend and he was like, hey, I know you just watched Lord of the Rings. Did you see the part where blah, 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 blah? I said, yeah. He said, wait, do you have the director's cut? I said, absolutely. So yeah, I took 12 hours out of my life to watch all 3 of them films. And yeah, they were fuego. And yeah, in my opinion, Two Towers is the better of the 3. Only reason I say that, even though Return of the King is just such a perfect movie, Two Towers has so much, it puts you
I'm on the bench on this one. I got my warm-ups on.
I'm gonna be real.
Did you not like Two Towers?
I least liked Return of the King out of all.
Yeah, I agree.
Least liked it, and that was like for me that it just didn't hit. But I come to find out a lot of people enjoyed Return of the King.
A lot of people put that as number one.
Watched it, yeah. I rewatched it, and I was looking at it, and I said, okay, I figured out why I had an issue with it. Is because it's definitely the most sentimental one out of all 3.
Yeah,
like this one, number 3, you really start to dig into the emotional aspect of the journey and whatnot, especially the conflict between Frodo and Sam that had been boiling up to this point, and then you get the revision of the conflict between Sam and Aragorn from number 1.
Yep.
But with Aragorn's brother, you get that same. So for me, I was like, I don't really care about all the emotion. I love the action. I actually love spending more time on the other characters outside of Frodo and Sam. Like, it was just correct. And I misspoke, not Aragorn, because Aragorn is the one who became the king eventually, but
Aragorn,
Ned Stark. Yeah.
Aragorn. Yeah.
Aragorn.
No, listen, and the Two Towers, listen.
Great film.
Bro, I mean, the Battle of Helm's Deep.
That was epic.
Gandalf talking about look to my coming at the first light on the 5th day.
You at least have to watch the Battle of Helm's Deep, Cecil. You have to. Because
this is a good battle, 2-man fast break.
That battle was so well done. It had every bit. It had the eyes of defeat. You thought there
necessary death. Everything is about to fall. Because what people forget as well, J.R.R. Tolkien was a believer. He was in the same circle as C.S. Lewis. They had a I forgot the name of their literary group. I want to call it it wasn't the Squiggles. I forgot what it was called. Squiggles? But they used to get together. They used to get together at a pub. At it was like 5 or 6 of them, and they would read off like the stuff they were working on and critique each other and encourage one another. But I mean, there's a lot of biblical imagery there. And seeing Gandalf come in on the light of the 5th day when all hope is lost.
Harry Potter, then I guess I can get to Lord of the Rings because
Lord of the Rings is better than Harry Potter, man.
Wait,
Harry Potter.
Okay.
I can't say nothing.
Here's
I haven't seen it
because I read all the Harry Potter books. The films did not do the books justice.
Absolutely.
I think it was probably from film 4 through 6. It didn't do it justice. That's why the last one, they had to break it up into 2 films just to make sure.
Sense. Yeah.
I
appreciate them for doing that.
Yep.
It was actually funny because I was talking to Rob the other day, and he loves the Harry Potter movies. And they have it all on HBO Max. And I was like, I should definitely give it a go because the last full Harry Potter film that I watched was actually Prisoner of Azkaban. I watched part of Goblet of Fire, but I wasn't feeling it, so I never finished it. I read all the books beforehand before the movies came out.
Yep.
And for me, the best film out of basically the 3.5 that I watched was Prisoner of Azkaban.
I agree.
It was the best
one.
Yeah.
But
Uncle Serious.
a lot of things from 1 and 2 that didn't translate from the books kind of irked me. Like to this day, in Chamber of Secrets.
To this day.
When they went underground for Harry to eventually have that first face-to-face meeting with Voldemort, you have a series of tests.
Mm-hmm.
Now in the books, just reading and imagining how those series of tests run, and then seeing it played out and how they skipped the potions one. Which I thought was the best test ever because it was the one. Yo, this riddle right here, you're gonna end up drinking poison. Like y'all gotta really be careful.
This is life
like, no, we don't got time for that. We'll just do the chess one, we'll do the keys, and then that's it. And I'm like, this is crap. I don't like this. But it was funny because talking to Rob too, apparently a lot of people hated the second film. They felt like critics feel like the second one didn't contribute much to the overall story of Harry Potter, and I actually disagree with that. The reason being is that Chamber of Secrets introduced to you the outside world of Hogwarts, because number one, you get Hogwarts and everything is Hogwarts, but number two, you get introduced to Draco's dad. So now you're saying like, yo, this dude is what he up to? Okay, like we thought Slytherins were like, yes, we were told Slytherins are all this. Have this perceived notion of being bad and whatnot, but then you actually meet an adult and you're like, yo, what's going on? You get to explore Diagon Alley. You get to really learn the dark history of Hogwarts with all those flashbacks. So I thought number 2 was crucial to set up the outside world of Hogwarts. And that's why I enjoyed it. And we got a little backstory into Voldemort too. Like, who doesn't enjoy a little origin story into that? Especially when it later plays. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, in number 6,
Half-Blood Prince. Plays in the Half-Blood Prince. Yeah.
Yeah, when you have that scene in the book where they're at the house and you have the snake, the big snake exactly. That portion makes so much more sense when you go back to number 2 and the importance of Parseltongue and whatnot and those interactions. So that's why I'm like, yo, I love number 2.
Yep.
But I told Rob that I'm gonna go back and eventually watch all the movies in its entirety. I'm gonna set up a whole day for that, just to give it its chance. Especially since the fact that they decided to break up number 2. They decided to break up Deathly Hallows into 2 parts. That makes me feel like, okay, they wanted to make sure they caught as much instead of just cramming it into one whole thing. Because like Aragon, those books, dope. That film, trash. That film tried to combine 2 books of 600 plus pages into one film, and I hated it so much.
Go in.
Right. I'm gonna give Deathly Hallows.
I see what bag we just went into.
Millionaire. Listen,
But
we,
speaking of
we might have to
Jack
have
Hills,
the LES book club soon.
right? Speaking
Yo.
of the battles of all battles. Speaking of coming up, well, it's actually it's gonna be.
It'll be
Mon-
yesterday.
Monday. Yesterday, since this will be on Tuesday, but we will know a winner. Find out on Friday's episode. But in the meantime, Jadakiss versus Fab. I'm gonna be honest. I got Fab murking Jadakiss.
So here's the thing.
Just
If we talk,
murking him.
because if you look at, I think hits wise, I see Fab taking this. But actual, because I'm more of a Jadakiss fan. Okay,
Same.
I'm more of a Jadakiss fan. We talk actual, because
Yeah,
it depends. Is Jada pulling out the content from the locks as well? Like
He can. He
He
definitely
can.
so he
But I
like
mean,
there's a lot there, bro. But a lot of
What's
people
beating-
Fab
what's
is
beating-
more mainstream, bro. Fab has more mainstream stuff, but Jadakiss is a. Did you hear the collab album that they did probably like 3 years ago?
Oh yeah,
Friday the
Nightmare,
13th.
yeah, Friday. the
Yeah, a Nightmare on Elm Street.
And
Jada barred him up.
Jada was coming from the role of Jason, right?
Jason. Yep.
Yeah, and then Fab was Freddie,
He was.
and yeah, no, Jada
Yeah.
really killed that. that project.
Jadakiss is like bar for bar. If somebody say okay, bar for bar, Jadakiss.
I have Jada over Fab.
Jada
Sure,
easily.
easily. I think when it comes to musicality and hits, I mean Fab.
Hey, Fab's last
You can't
mixtape.
beat
gonna come
Baby
down
Don't Go.
to-
it's
You
gonna
can't
come
beat
down
Throw
to,
It in
like,
the bag.
Mainstream versus those who like were really feeling it, like you said, bar for bar. Who's more about the lyrics than
That's
the
what
hits.
they did with Scott Storch and versus
Manny Fresh.
Manny
Oh,
Fresh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's
what
what-
kind of
that's what
battle?
it
Like,
came
come
down
on. I don't think that's a fair.
It's not
That
fair.
one was
Scott
more
Storch is that dude though, bro.
Yeah, that one was definitely more unfair. This one is, it's gonna come down to the public, but
Yeah.
I will say this: it was my boy Calvin Million, like when I was in 8th, 9th grade, that put me on to Loso, and he put me on to the Soul tapes and whatnot,
Okay.
the No Competition series.
Mhm.
And so when I started listening to that, I was just like, yeah, Loso, nice. I mean, his wordplay. I love Jadakiss, and I believe bar for bar Jadakiss is better, but Loso's wordplay
He's
is
clever.
good. Yeah,
Clever,
he's
bro.
clever with it.
Very
He's
clever.
Yeah.
clever with it.
Clever. His wordplay is dope. I think, of course, you're not gonna put him. Even East Coast rappers, you're not gonna put him. Top.
I mean, he's one of
He's there.
when it comes to New York
He's-
rappers.
Oh,
He's
New York rappers, yeah.
he
Top
Okay,
5.
Nas, Big, Jay-Z,
Top 10. Can't go top 5. Top 10.
You cannot be top 5
Yeah.
at all.
yeah, no, top
Uh,
5 is tough.
That top 5 is filthy.
Yeah.
That's a starting 5 right there,
mean-
boy.
Who's the complete top 5? Nas,
Who's yours?
Jay,
Nas,
Biggie,
Big, Jay-Z. That's 3.
Jay-Z at the 3, Nas and
Biggie 1 and 2.
yeah, no, Biggie's playing the
East?
5. He's playing the 5. The 5
Okay.
the 5 doesn't the center spot. Jay-Z is playing the small forward spot. We got Nas in the backcourt. Who else we got in the backcourt?
Are we putting Jadakiss there?
I mean, I was gonna say, what about DMX?
Ooh,
Nope.
Yeah, I would.
Not top 5 from
I
New
would.
York.
Top 5. That's top 5 for me. Easy. That's top 5. Also, that's top 5. You cannot.
Yeah,
Don't you
Max,
do this
top
right now.
5. Hold on.
That's
Hold
top
on, you gotta
5.
Do it. I can't do it.
Why not? Don't let his voice.
No, this
drive you
has nothing to
away
do with his voice because X,
the fact
X
that
no,
he has some
trust
hits.
me, bro. I know X has had some hits. Okay, X, listen, I got love for X, but not that much love.
Yeah, I gotta put him top 5. I can't. I don't. Who else would? I don't know who anybody else who would take that. And then I would round it out.
Where does 50 Cent land in there?
Ooh,
Bar for bar, he's not in the top 5.
as an
Impact
artist, yes, he would be top 5.
Impact wise, you can say yeah.
But actual bar,
rapper.
Oh well, okay, well. Oh, this is Ranker. I went to Ranker. I hate this website, Ranker.
Oh,
'cause I
why
feel
would you
like
do
their
that? Now
website's
you're gonna
not, but
upset
they
me.
have
now you gonna upset me? Don't do
no.
that.
They have Biggie
No.
1,
Okay.
Biggie 1, Nas 2, J 3,
Mhm.
the entirety of Wu-Tang Clan 4.
Oh, that's not fair.
55.
It's hard to break them up.
Rakim 6. DMX 7. Tupac 8, because like literally he did
Okay,
come for it,
yeah,
even
he
though
did-
he's
he moved.
on the West Coast. Buster. Yeah, I did forget about Buster. That's
I
a
forgot about
violation.
Ooh.
That's a violation.
Okay, wait.
See?
Bust, I would trade in Buster for DMX then.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I would
That's
sub-
fair.
I would sub in.
I'm not.
I would sub in.
And people see
Big
kids
L.
today. This goes
Big
back to. Oh, go ahead.
LL too, huh?
Yeah, this goes back to the kids today argument.
L.
I forgot.
Kids today
Big
will not be able to appreciate Bust. They won't be able to appreciate Big L. They won't be able to appreciate the big puns of the world. You know, they got.
I still gotta get, but you said, I know you said not LL, but a big L, but I still put LL up there.
Oh,
He
for
has
sure. For
most disrespected rappers I've ever
Top
came across.
5?
People.
Yes. But it goes back to the
I'll
kids
change
today.
my
LL
5 for
top
top 5.
5?
Kids
Yes.
today, bro, they don't
They don't
All
understand.
right, so
Before
where's Most Def then?
Most Def,
Oh, abagachagaboonganga.
he would be
Most Def is top 5
6
for
or
me, bro.
7.
I'm
He's that
putting
guy,
Most
bro.
Def over LL. I'll tell you that.
Sure.
Oh no,
For
no,
sure,
no,
bro. Don't do
LL
that.
before he turned to beginning of Drake, the old version of Drake.
Yeah,
that dude
before
was
he
a
became
bar
the
for bar
Godfather.
rapper.
I'm still putting Most Def above LL. Then they put a tribe called. Well, you got members of the tribe. You know what? I'm not gonna put.
I'm
groups
tired
in
of
there.
this. I can't keep hearing this because now I'm getting conflicted and frustrated.
Lauryn Hill, Public Enemy, Run DMC,
Lauryn Hill, bro.
Big Daddy
Lauryn
Kane.
Hill. Lauryn Hill drop, man, miseducation.
I would say underrated as far as if people who should be on, not should, but considerable mention would be people like Jadakiss, people like
Lil Kim, Mace,
Lil Kim, okay,
Mace. Which Mace are we
De
talking
La
about?
Soul,
Which Mace are we
also
talking
over
about?
Mace any day. Mace, I don't give that
Foxy
much
Brown.
credit to Mace like that.
Nah, I wouldn't put him in my top 5.
I would
But
say
I
shout out to he's underrated. He's not no top. I don't think he's a top like 5 or nothing. But I would say shout out to people like
Basically-
and he don't have that many hits. But Joel Ortiz, bar for bar,
Joel Ortiz can rap.
he's nice.
He can
yeah,
rap.
he can rap, but he don't.
Low key Slaughterhouse when Slaughterhouse was Slaughterhouse.
They was slaughtering.
All of them.
They was
Wasn't
nice.
wasn't nobody touching them.
It was
I
nice.
will say this. I cannot, when it comes to New York rappers, I cannot put Jada and Loso in the top 5 because there's too much. I mean, there's too much history.
Why'd you disappear when you said that?
You don't want to
Why you don't want to show us your face?
No,
Clayton Bigsby,
I'm-
show us your face.
I'm dead. I'm dead serious. I can't put Loso and Jada top 5 because New York has such a rich history of hip hop and rap where there's a lot
they
of
don't.
people. Okay, where there's a lot of people that have contributed and have made their case. Now it comes down to like, oh, are you going to give love to all the old heads? Not really, but I do have to include DMX in my top 5. He
Fair
has
enough.
to be.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't blame you on that one. I would not blame you on that one.
And I actually did enjoy Big L despite having a short catalog, because I actually attest to what many people believed at the time, that if Big L was never killed, he probably bigger than Biggie and Tupac.
Who
He
is?
probably bigger than both of them. But he died after like 2 years. Big L. He died.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I believe that.
yeah.
So, you know. But I'm excited for it. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna like feel like home. I feel like we're gonna get those old school New York vibes again. Those
Are you
90s
wearing Tim's to watch it? You gonna wear Tim's while watching it?
My Tims are in the closet, so let me
Bring
tell
them
you.
Wheaties out, boy. Bring them Wheaties out.
Tim's
I'm bringing mine out. I'll bring mine out.
Bring the beanie. Keep the
Put the
Osa
scully
beanie
on.
half on the side.
Hold on, I got you.
Oh yeah, I got
Keep
I
the
got
beanie
beanies
on
too.
with
I'm
the
about
white
to pull it
tee
out.
with the pro club.
I got you.
I'm not gonna wear a white tee, but I'll wear a black tee.
Get
I
you
will
a
wear
shot
that.
shotgun.
Oh, I got all black. I'll bring out that all black.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
Get you a
just
pro
gonna
club with the
be
heavy collar that be weighing you
gonna
down.
be-
Oh, bro, that
all
collar.
New York.
That thing be choking you up.
You be feeling like a
3X.
quarterback. You gotta hold it like you.
You thought you was dope wearing a long,
But I will
long
say this.
tall 3X.
The last 2 verses have been more about like community than competition. This one is definitely gonna feel like competition.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Although they did
No
an album
way,
together,
dude.
you know.
no
Yeah.
way two New York heads don't decide to be like, all right,
Well,
let's
unless they
Better.
decide to end the situation playing tracks from that, Friday the
which they
13th.
should, because I enjoyed that.
I
I
enjoy,
enjoyed-
bro. There was that song that they did about, I think it was racial injustice or something like that, and they, boy,
Jadakiss and
boy.
Fab. Monday we'll find out, and we will definitely give a debrief of this New York battle. We're all wear 10s with beanies or something, representing with our Shotless and Pro clubs. So we'll see. Sticking in the rap lane,
Friday on Elm Street.
Kanye Weezy struck it large again, with a 10-year deal. Gap,
Gazap.
not Baby Gap, but Gap.
But Baby
not
Gap
the
falls in
band,
there.
but Gap and Baby Gap, and he do have kids that can be great models for their clothes.
Old Navy's in that brand family too.
So
Oh, yeah,
Kanye West
yeah.
10-year deal. I've seen people give him flack, I guess, because of the lack of material on his clothes. To be honest, I like it. I like the fact that he's literally trying to take over that fashion game. I may not wear his stuff like that, but
Nah,
Or at all.
mindset,
at all.
the business mindset that he has is crazy. People will buy it just to say they got, Kanye stuff or Kanye's clothes.
Just to say they got homeless clothes. I get it.
Right. Just, they got clothes with holes in them. But as far as from the business mindset, I can't knock him. He's has the Gap. His shoe has actually improved as far as sales over the years. Because at first it wasn't doing too well. But
Do any of y'all own a pair of Yeezys? Do any of y'all?
Heck no.
I actually want some.
I
actually
don't.
want some.
I don't.
I'm good. I'm cool.
And it's the part that
when you
sucks
start
is
getting-
me and
Yeah,
Abe
go
would
ahead.
have to get our kicks from like on resale from like an athlete or something because
For like $25,000.
man, nah, son, I'm good.
When he came
I'm
out with
cool.
them Gators, I'm like, okay, I need you chill, bro. Chill.
But also, Kanye's back to tweeting, so you know what that means. Probably
You already know. Yep.
He probably got
Yeah.
some in the works. He shout out to him for striking the deal. Can't knock him. Can't knock the grind.
Never gonna be mad at
The
someone getting the
business.
bag.
Yeah, the business savvy is crazy. Also, another one that I wanted to dive into. Shout out to LeBron James. Can't knock him.
Spring Hill,
Him
baby.
and Maverick Carter raised $100 million to expand their media company. They've hired, I believe, and I know the statistics are there in his thing, but I believe it says 60% are minority, 40% are female, and they're doing amazing things. Toby Nigwe officially partnered. He announced that today, and which is
That's lit.
That's major,
That's
bro. Shout out to
huge.
Toby.
huge.
My man went from Eric Thomas, and Eric Thomas, we all know about Eric Thomas,
Look,
okay?
Yeah,
Eric Thomas to Spring Hill. Like Toby been winning, y'all.
Huge.
Winning streak.
and we all thought him with Eric Thomas is a big deal. Like the fact that you're partnering, and partnering with a brand, obviously that is global. Obviously the with the mind and the brand power of LeBron James and his people. And let's not sleep on Maverick Carter. That dude's a beast.
Mav is
No,
that
he-
dude, bro.
Mav is that dude.
Except for when he made them comments about Steph Curry. You need to
True.
stick several teeth. You
True.
on a winning streak till that.
Everybody has their moments, you know. They
As
all
much as
have their
we
moments, but
give,
it's like
as much as we give credit with LeBron, we gotta shout out people like Maverick and Rich
Oh,
Paul.
yeah.
They killing it. You can't,
Bro,
you can't
Trey
knock
It's
it.
Young,
a-
just,
it's
Trey
a
Young just signed
squad
with Clutch. Like Clutch
We
is
knew
about
that
to
was
own the
gonna happen.
NBA, bro. Clutch
knew
is
that was going to happen. As
Yeah,
soon
Trey
as
Young signed today with Clutch.
Oh,
yeah.
Agent left the
It's a
clutch.
wrap.
We thought like, yo, it would make sense for him
Bro.
to follow because there was no beef between him and his agent. So why
Yeah.
not?
Here's what's gonna happen.
I mean, I
Clutch,
would leave
Clutch
or
is gonna run
agency
it.
that lives Octagon. Like, I would leave too.
I mean, I don't have a problem with the name, but
I
it's just
do.
like, you know,
But it's
Yeah,
Clutch.
so
Like
I-
Clutch right now is running it, bro. Like they
Yeah.
Yeah.
and deservedly so. They putting their
Yeah.
they putting their people on.
Ground
you
up.
sign with Clutch, you
Yeah.
making your money,
From
and
the ground
you're
up.
being represented well. So shout out to Braun, to
Yeah.
Rich Paul, to Carter. Like y'all really doing the damn
And
thing.
LeBron is smart. LeBron, and I think LeBron understands that because he's an athlete, that doesn't mean he has to be in the movie or in everything.
Yeah, he'd be
When you
behind the
see-
scenes,
When
man.
you see a lot of athletes, they are.
I would be
in
upset
the
if he was
movies.
in every movie. Be like,
You
chill,
know what I
bro.
mean? and we've seen athletes like that too. We've seen
Did,
athletes.
did y'all
that
ever
tried to
watch
do it.
that basketball movie Eddie, where Whoopi Goldberg played a female coach in the NBA? Did y'all
I
ever
feel
see
like I
that in the
have, and I
'90s?
immediately like disposed
There
of
was
it.
way too many NBA players in that. That was during the '90s, where like NBA players were popping up in every
Eddie,
single film.
wow.
Like it just bro, man. Mm-mm. Take the
Yeah,
LeBron road, except for Space
Um,
Jam 2. Take the LeBron
yeah.
road.
and honestly, like it's smart. Like, okay, you want to do Space Jam, but he's not really in any other stuff, and that's pretty dope to see him behind the scenes like that.
He was in Trainwreck,
He was in Trainwreck. He was in Trainwreck.
but that was like so. That's only
Anything
been
else?
what 2 films he's been in.
Yeah.
But he has more. What he has is them executive producer credits.
That's
That
true.
because he's
he got
working
his
on
name
that.
on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's doing that thing. Steph Curry's doing the same thing. People don't. Steph Curry has his own media company as well. I forget the name of it. I think
I
it's
had no
It's
idea.
media or something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a
He's-
film that they. What film was it? It's it was a social justice film that they sponsored. Why can I not remember the name of it? But yeah, Steph Curry, same company that's doing his golf show
Yep.
as well. Like, yeah, these guys are doing it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think athletes should take this route more instead of trying to be in front of the camera. No, and I'm not gonna fall into the trap of saying like, shut up and dribble, but you gotta be able to know what you're capable of besides being in front of a camera. You are technically in front of a camera on the court, so that don't mean you gotta be able know your strengths. And with LeBron, he's definitely knows his strength, and I think he's the one thing I appreciate is he trusts his team. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
He don't have to be
level with his
hands-on.
team is crazy.
Yeah.
It's partnership with Chase Bank. Like, who does that? Like, it's crazy. But no, back to Toby. Toby made a huge move. I know he's not considered a Christian artist, but I think that will open up a door.
Why
some
is
way,
he not
shape, or
considered
form.
a Christian artist?
He's an artist who's a Christian. He'll tell you that.
Right, pretty much.
Yeah, he'll tell
Oh,
you that.
okay. Wait. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it
yeah.
comes down to this whole stigma because for me, it's like it's all the same. I don't really.
Yeah.
Those who say I'm a rapper who is Christian and those who say I'm a Christian rapper, to me, it's all the same. Like, I never really paid attention to the
But
division.
so
and
here's
the
let me help you though. Here's where you can, I think, draw a dividing line. I don't if I'm a banker, I don't say I'm a Christian banker. Or if I'm a doctor, I don't say I'm a Christian doctor. My occupation is my occupation. Now, it might bleed out when I do what I do, and I mean it bleeds out in Toby's lyrics. But I think, and we had this discussion in season 1, that the label Christian rapper, I don't think it holds the same weight as what it used to. I think in the day and time that we're living in, you, not saying you don't rep or you're not proud of your faith, but you tend to box yourself in. So if I say I'm a Christian rapper, here's what people are going to expect to hear from me: Jesus, 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 every single bar. And my seat at the table will be at your local youth group's event or at this wildly, conservative conference, fill in the blank. That's why Lecrae caught the flack that he caught when he was like, yeah,
That's where it
no,
started.
I'm a rapper
Yeah.
who's a Christian. And there were so that was the first blow. The second blow was when he started speaking up about social injustice. And this man, Lecrae's lost money and lost gigs because there were people who wanted him to shut up and rap. Shut up and rap about Jesus. That's what I want you to do. I don't want to hear, and I see it today. You look into social media, you'll see people. I respected you, Lecrae, until you started causing division in the body of Christ by talking about race.
So I guess people will look at Lecrae in similar fashions as they look at a rapper like NF, because I enjoy NF
perfect
styles
example.
because it's just like, if you aren't a person of faith, when you listen to him, you wouldn't get bombarded with like, oh, this is a guy. But if you are a person of faith and you're like us, when you listen to NF, you're like, okay, I see some of the stuff he's talking about.
I see what you're
And
dropping in
he
there, yeah.
says it in a relatable manner because he really speaks about himself. I mean, low key, he is similar to Eminem in terms of the type of
They grew
content.
up, they come from the same part of the world.
Yeah,
But we did
and
that.
so
Like, I feel like that's.
I enjoy that though. I don't mind that. Like, I don't see it as an issue.
I feel like we are the ones that caused this.
We did. We did.
as the audience, I guess if you put a name on it, the listener did this. I think the rapper or the rappers who are Christian, like Lecrae, the Andy Mineos, the KBs of the world, NFs even. I don't think they didn't even specify with anything. I think in their minds, it was just, hey, we rap, we love God, and we express God through what we do. And then we're the ones that put pressure and say, well, I get it, but now you got to pick a side. Because based on which side you're on, I am going to now not listen to your music. And that was never the case. And honestly, it wasn't until, look, I'll say this. I think it wasn't until the story came when Lecrae was with Columbia. And then the whole, that kind of just unraveled when it came to a lot of division, a lot of just separation and tiffs and all kind of arguments. Honestly, I think that was the start where you saw Reach Records change with artists. People left, people came in. Even now, still, people are leaving and people are coming in. And that's not a slouch to Reach Records. I think because we put some sort of unfathomable demand on artists to pick a side, especially us as Christians, when we don't have to, it seems like now there's this line, and that's where Toby, I feel like, is trying to merge that and saying, hey, I love God, but I'm gonna be real about mine. NF, I love God, but I'm gonna be real about mine. I think NF is more,
especially since he talks a lot about his own personal depression, his inner demons. It's like,
and it's dark. Don't get me wrong.
He's more relatable. He's definitely relatable.
It's relatable, but in the thing, I feel like I really hope, because I love NF. The thing that I really hope people will get with even artists like that is these people love God with really all their hearts, and the way they express it is through expressing what they go through because they're human. And I think NF's posture when it comes to his rap and his music is, hey, I'm human, so I'm not gonna ignore or
he's definitely unapologetic, which is what I love about him a lot in his music. He's like, yo, look, if you don't like it,
this is who I am.
And everyone has their lane, but everyone has their lane. And I think that's the other thing that I think we have to get as Christians, because for so long there's been this, I think, lie or this myth about the line between secular and sacred, or sacred and secular. That, hey, is like,
shout out Kirk Franklin.
There you go, the secular saint himself.
Secular pastor.
That if I'm a Christian, everything I do has to have the connotation of sacred in front of it, and the stuff that and only the most sacred of occupations are to be valued. And what it does is, if I'm a rapper like NF who uses my work as therapy and also as a way to really speak to things that aren't really talked about in the church space. Black church community doesn't really talk about depression, anxiety, and all those things. It's just, hey, like, you need to have more faith, or just go pray about it. Someone like an NF speaks to those things, and it hits people in a real way. And so when we have to allow people to be themselves and recognize that what they are doing is good. Like, it's good, and there's beauty in it. There's beauty in the art. And so let it speak for itself, and let the fruit of it speak for itself. It's a different story if people are listening to NF or Lecrae and afterward want to run out and, commit homicide or arson, but they're not. It's really causing people, right. It's really causing people, though, to reflect and to think and to be, and to maybe address, emotions. I remember listening to, I'll be honest, when it comes to NF, I feel like he's very one track with what he does. All of his stuff all sounds the same to me.
It's a strong one track, though.
Yeah, it's a strong one track. Shout out to him getting signed to Capitol, at the start of his career. So when he listening to his last album, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, dang, bro, like, more than any other album that you've put out, I relate to this one more than any other. And I really need to stop and reflect and think about the emotions that I'm thinking through right now. As a matter of fact, I was on my way to a funeral while I was listening to it. So, but it caused me to think internally and reflect internally. Now, if NF had to be a Christian rapper, you know, it would have to have a happy ending at the end of every song. There's not always a happy ending. There's not always a resolution, but there is reflection.
So much reflection when it comes to NF, which is what I enjoy.
Yeah, so we need to let people run in their lanes and trust that there are people who will hold them accountable to make sure they don't do or say anything that's off the rails or reckless.
And to be honest, if you just want to hear Jesus, just listen to praise and worship music. You'll get your fill there.
And there are artists though who run in that lane as well as far as rappers go. Shout out to guys like Eshon Burgundy, who do it and do it with quality though. It's not corny, it's not cheesy, it's not. Listen, if you send me some stuff and I don't respond back to you, it's probably because I didn't want to be forced to lie. I didn't want to be forced to lie, so I'm just not going to say anything. Okay.
And also, before we, I guess, switch gears just a little bit, I think one of the key lessons looking at people like Toby is, man, it's beautiful when you're able to do it and be yourself. Like,
bingo.
To be successful off of yourself, like your genuine personality, your genuine artistry. You didn't fall for anything to persuade you, to manipulate your music. You didn't go with a label that tried to belittle what you do or change up what you do.
Right.
You literally did it your way. And he's one of the rare artists that, secular or Christian, I don't care, rare artists that is doing what they're doing on their terms, on their schedule, they're dying, and being able to just be themselves and authentically themselves. It's amazing. Like, what artist is able to keep that level of momentum and still put people around them on? Like, Linnell is on.
And he was independent though.
Linnell Grant on, and people don't talk about her enough. Like,
bro, she
beats now for uninterrupted.
Everything, bro. Like,
she made the beat for the new thing for the partnership with LeBron James, Uninterrupted.
Yeah.
Some of the beats, I think her beat made it on 2K. She's on, but I think to Toby's credit, to keep his circle so at a level where it's like, I'm not gonna put y'all behind me. We all in the same boat, even though my name is here. They gonna know that everybody has something to give. And he's done an incredible job with that. I mean, there's a video, I know we all seen it probably, of buying a Linnell SUV. Man, that tore me up.
Right? Come on, man.
Like, what?
That's the thread, I think, of this whole episode. When you look at all of the celebrities and artists that we've covered, I think, for the past almost hour now, that's the common thread, is they all did it their way. Yeah. Will Smith as a rapper, no foul language, and still doing it his way. Okay. Jamie Foxx as a comedian, one of the few guys who was doing impersonations, all of that stuff. And he's a triple threat.
He's put out good music. Yeah.
Good music. An artist, he's a comedian. He's an artist. He's a comedian and an actor. Okay. Kanye West black man is has a deal with Gap?
Yeah.
And
say what you want. The dude is inking deals.
And people forget this man actually did an internship as well. He didn't just say, "Hey, I'm Kanye West, give me a deal." No, he studied. He has studied the industry.
He's savvy.
Did it his way. Savvy. LeBron James, from the bottom up, with his people, with his crew, his day ones, did it his way.
Yeah, and Toby, I think that's a good thread. Toby did it his way. I think that's a good thread. To do it your way. I know us using our platform, we encourage creators all the time with a lot of things, but man, to do it your way and to be humble, but at the same time to have that engine to do it, because if you do it your way, if you're just yourself, that's success alone. To do it yourself, it's a beautiful thing. Of course, I know we didn't talk about it like we usually have the past 3 or 4 episodes as far as racism. Hopefully, we've brought a little bit of light. But still, rest in peace to Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor's rest in peace to George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery. There's 2 names that just got murdered. That's in the news. I can't think of the names. One is Latino,
and
McLean.
Not Arturo Guerrero. What? Oh my goodness.
Eduardo or something like that.
I think it might be. I think it's Eduardo. Let me not butcher this.
Yeah. I don't want to get it wrong. But it's definitely, you know, we're still in it. We're still using our voice. We're still seeking ways to affect change. We hope that you guys are too.
Andres Guardado.
There you go.
Andres Guardado. R.I.P.
And yeah, RIP to him. You know, these mergers are still happening, guys. So we definitely encourage people all across the board, stay safe, but still make an impact. We have definitely noticed, you know, the climate of racism where it's at right now is, as far as the higher the climate, the more violence ensues. Because, you know, you have real racists starting to expose themselves, and they don't like what's happening. Let's just be real. They don't like what's happening, and they're trying to do whatever and whenever to get whatever they feel is suffice, whether it's harming people, withholding something, something. So, you know, stay safe, but still use your voice and do what you can.
Absolutely.
Doing too much. We didn't do it the last episode, but it's time for doing too much, y'all.
No, we did do it last episode.
Did we? Did we?
Kendrick Perkins.
Yes, we did. Well,
That
we're on the
played
streak.
your sister Vanity Perkins,
Listen,
and that played a
we ain't selling out this time. And that was
She
a fire
loves you.
meal, though. He named off though.
Hey,
I'm
he
not gonna
named them
lie.
oxtails and cornbread,
He
bro.
said,
I
wait.
was elevated.
Wait a minute.
Hold up.
Kendrick, Big Perk, doing too much this week or this time around. I got B Simone. So B Simone, for those who don't know, is a you know, famous, I guess.
I feel like her name continues popping up every week for some reason.
And this is why she's doing too much. So it started off, as we know, with a coloring book.
No,
to be honest,
it was not a coloring book. Okay, it was
Okay.
Manifest Yourself, sis. Okay, it was
Manifest Yourself.
It was a great book.
It was an encouraging book that she did, and we found out she didn't write it. But it started off with that. She tried to sell that. So we found out, of course, Twitter news, #1 news in the world besides all the other networks. So we find out, like, yo, that book, though, you copied that. Found out it came from Pinterest.
The study
Found
guide.
the-
There was
the-
like a workbook portion.
Yes.
The workbook
Yes.
portion was Pinterest.
So, and before that, let me backtrack. So before people found out, yo, this is a copycat from Pinterest. B Simone did a video of her showcasing her newly released book. It's like, hey guys, I got my book. Here it is, Manifest Yourself. And the pages were slipping out of the cover. Like, it was not attached to the actual cover. Like, a coloring book, y'all. And it was falling out, and people just made a huge uproar. Like, yo, what is this trash? You charging $33 for this? They did more research. They found out, oh my God, you hijacked somebody off of Pinterest. And Lord and behold, it is exactly the same just style, theme,
all of it.
everything.
She blamed her team for it too.
Right, and then blamed her team for that. And we all know, like, girl, you knew. Don't act like you didn't
Don't
know.
play us.
Don't do that. So then she was like, I'm gonna take it off sales, and
Better not.
stop sales and all that stuff. We're like, you should have done that before. You should have asked first. Asked the person to use permission to even copy the coloring book. I'm gonna still call it a coloring book. I don't care what nobody says. So
Come on, man. Chance to rap.
so now, and I knew she shot herself in the foot before because she was trying to get clout from quote unquote dating the baby, and so now
Don't do that. She just manifesting.
Excuse me. Well, she manifested a lawsuit, and so
Jesus.
the latest in the B Simone Chronicles, she says, I have nothing against the LGBT lettuce, bacon, tomato community.
She said that?
She said that. Yes, that is the silence that I was expecting. She also said, both of you. She also said that she has transgender friends, but she continues to call them trannies. And she sees nothing wrong with that. Also, I guess word on the street, she's hosting a webinar. Wait, no, this is a joke. I'm just gonna read it off, and then we're gonna talk about it. Someone said B Simone is hosting a free webinar, and then someone asked, "Is it gonna be between the hours of 9 to 5?"
No. Oh my. Oh my. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh. Okay. B Simone. Lovely gal.
Lovely gal.
B Simone, the one who's on Wild 'N Out. The baby's girl.
The baby's former baby.
Model, former baby. B Simone, you, my dear woman, are doing too much. This is a perfect example of how you just shoot down a career, your own career, in a week. 20, also, how this picture's killing me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this is the, and I feel like during this time, these influencers are like literally damaging their careers, majorly. B Simone, Desi Banks,
Desi.
tweet.
Has anyone heard from Desi lately?
Yeah, he's been coming out. He's been coming back with skits. He's made an apology video, definitely.
Yo, it ain't hitting them because normally I'm
it
used to
ain't.
seeing Desi skits on my TL. I haven't
You know
seen
why?
anything since
know
he
why?
came
He
out with
lost.
that nonsense.
He lost 500,000 followers
500.
over one night.
Yep.
Yeah,
the tweet
it was with
came
the
out.
quickness.
Literally in the morning, I'm seeing the number. I'm refreshing his page every time, and the number's going down. So he got a lot of work to do. But these influencers, y'all, is this ain't the time. I feel like this is not the time to
These influencers are under the influence.
under the influence, and I feel like these influence are examples to me on what people look like when they're looking for clout or fame at no matter what cost.
At all costs.
We're in the middle of a civil war fight. We're in the middle of the COVID-19 fight. We're in the middle of all kind of stuff. Sports is out, everything, and you still find time to make something that is about you. Like that's amazing. And you know, I'm not knocking people who still gotta, you know, make a living off of their brand because the person might be the brand. I get that. But you're creative enough to still use you as the brand and still create change and impact the culture with what's going on. You're still creative enough. So to those who feel like, oh, I don't know what to do, I can just sell my books and my art and my this and my that. No, screw that. Like, you're better than that. You're more creative than that. And I know, you know, we treated B Simone as a joke previously, but for a person to still make stuff about her in that sense, I mean, you're too creative. You're too creative for that. The next
That's
one
mad ignorant though.
It is.
Mad
is.
ignorant. The whole lettuce, bacon, tomato thing is
that is
mad ignorant.
Horrible.
And then, like, yes, I have transgender friends. I still call them trannies. Mad ignorant. Like,
horrible.
That's
Yo.
like the white person who says, I have black friends and I call them the N-word and they cool with it.
I slapped the hell out of somebody.
Horrible. I swear for God.
All right, so I don't mean to step on your toes, Cecil, but you just reminded me of something else that happened recently. And this might actually be a long episode. Like, low key, thank you for bearing with us. There's a lot going on.
The
So,
episode, you know,
right? Yeah, just eat your tacos while you watching this. So y'all know Jenna Maples, whatever. Shorty from YouTube. White woman.
I think I.
Yes, she's been running YouTube. She's been one of the OG streamers on YouTube.
Yeah.
She's been on it for 10 years plus. Has like 3.5 billion total views. Has several hundred millions. So recently, she came out and announced her indefinite leave from YouTube. The reason being is that she started to receive flack lately because of content on her YouTube page that included slut shaming, racist jokes.
Wait. Pause. Slut shaming? Like,
Yeah.
You never heard
is
slut
not even-
shaming?
You never heard?
Slut shaming? No.
Yeah.
I actually haven't heard that.
You
I
never
stopped
oh.
you. And I stopped you because when you said slut shaming, I'm like, well, calling somebody a slut is already
No,
No,
because
Amber Rose was the head of that movement, basically.
Yeah.
okay.
That
okay.
that time, yeah, that was like
yeah.
so racist jokes and then her use of blackface. So
I remember that. I think I remember that.
I got into a conversation with Rob and he was telling me this and it was the whole idea of cancel culture. And also, and I know how you feel about cancel culture, but my thing is that low key it's necessary. The reason being is that a lot of this stuff that she did, like, I don't know if she's a different person than when she was doing this stuff, you know, because at the time she's not the only one that has came out lately and been accused of blackface.
Mhm.
Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, they all did. Basically.
Jimmy Ruffin.
And what I told Rob was that, look, it can be kind of annoying that people are digging up stuff from your past to start to blame you now in this day and age. But low-key, when it's as bad as that, like you using blackface, shorty, and you thought it was cool.
Yeah.
All of y'all thought it was cool. And some people say, oh, but where was the uproar then? Well, first of all, you got to look at the demographics, the use of social media, and the era where all this went down. Early 2010s, like that, around that time between, like, let's say 08 to 2013,
Yeah.
our demographic, we weren't really watching people on YouTube that did not include sports highlights, music videos, or people playing COD. That's what we were doing on YouTube.
Yeah.
We were definitely not staying up late night to watch no Jimmy Kimmel. I was staying up late night to watch Adult Swim, to watch any rated R movie or TV show I was watching,
and not MASH.
and definitely not MASH. Definitely not.
That was
MASH.
the cue to go to bed.
Yeah, but you stayed up too late.
Listen. All right, I'm out.
I stayed up way too late. It's bedtime now. So, like, our demographic wasn't seeing that, especially since social media wasn't popping like that.
Yeah.
For us during that time, social media, we was trying to flirt. We was trying to stunt. We was on MySpace trying to be like, yo, check out my page. Check out like the music I got. All right, let me show you how I do things. Check out my top 5. Oh, Twitter was starting to grow. Yeah, you know, I'm trying to get into the life of the celebrities who are like me. So I'm following people like LaDainian Tomlinson. I'm following those Lil Wayne and whatnot. I'm trying to get a glimpse of their life. So now that we are in the era where social media is where it doesn't matter what demographic you are, you will see everything and anything. Had this era of social media existed back then in the early 2000s at its peak, if it was the same and we approached it the same way, a lot of this blackface would have been exposed then too. It definitely would have been exposed. So I don't have a problem with cancel culture in that sense, because it's like, look, when for me growing up, when it came to the school system and how every February was like, all right, let's teach you little nigglets about slavery, and you're just like, oh well, here's our annual slavery talk. One of the things that was ingrained in us, and at least ingrained in me, was that blackface was on the same tier as the N-word. It was demeaning. It was highly racist. So for me, it was never okay for people to do blackface. And the fact that people were doing it in the mid 2000s, in 2010s, 2013, because you look at the show 30 Rock, they have 4 episodes of blackface. 2 in season 3, 1 in season 5, 1 in season 6. First of all, I don't know anybody who watches 30 Rock. So this was complete news to me. This show hasn't been on air for 7 years, and I'm just finding this out.
You didn't like 30 Rock?
Shut up! I know you didn't watch that stuff. Stop playing. I know you. Nah, but you lied.
You trying to say some most random stuff.
Oh,
I
make us feel
not
stupid.
yet met a person who's like, yeah, I used to watch 30 Rock. So blackface was never okay, but all these people thought that they could get away with this. Why? Because they served a demographic that was cool with it.
Yeah.
And so I'm just thinking, I'm like, yo, look, cancel culture, yo, keep catching all these hoes and whatnot. I don't mean to say hoes because I'm not slut shaming nobody. Keep catching all these ignorant folks. I don't care if they did it 10, 15 years ago. They still did it. Blackface, really?
Yeah.
Like, yo, racist jokes are across the line and whatnot, but comedians as a whole do racist jokes. So I can't hold that against her, especially if I don't cancel Eddie Murphy for all his homophobic jokes with Raw and Delirious, which definitely would not stand up today. Hilarious, but definitely would not stand up today and has no place in today's society.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
blackface, though, that's where you cross the line. So, shorty, I mean, it's cool that you want to step away because you want to make sure that you put out content that doesn't hurt anybody. But blackface, really? Who gave you the green? Who told you that was cool? Who told you? Who told all these people blackface was cool?
So this is the question
yeah,
then, with influencers. Who's influencing the influencers? Because it's great to be creative, but as a creative, who do you have in your corner saying, "Hey, Doc, I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea." Like, not all creativity is actually productive. Yeah, not all creativity is actually productive. It's not going to move things forward or move the needle forward. Not everything that comes out of our mouth is going to move the needle forward. Yeah, that's
nobody. I think that they just have people either people.
Yeah,
a lot of these influencers have a
lot of
yes
yesers.
Camp,
Yeah,
or you have people that really don't know what's going on around them at all. So therefore, it does end up on a yes. Like if for example, if I'm an influencer, if I say, hey, would this work well? This skit will work well. I guarantee I'll probably get yes because they're not aware of the climate. They're not aware of what's going on. So right now, it's easy to because there ain't nobody doing nothing either. We're sitting down, we're paying attention to a whole lot of stuff. So it's easy now to point out, okay, if this person is doing A, B, C, D, and nobody said no, like nobody said, hey dog, I think this might not be a good idea. Then now it falls into like, okay, people like Jenna, okay, yeah, you need to sit down because that wasn't cool. Maybe 5 years ago when we wasn't doing anything, wasn't quarantined, probably wouldn't have noticed. And if we did, we probably wouldn't have been that invested because we got so much other stuff going on. But I think just sitting down and paying attention to who is actually doing what is causing a lot of people to shoot themselves in the foot or backtrack because they had so much stuff in their history that now people are digging it up because of the fact that, hey, there's receipts. What'd you say?
I think it's a combination of two things. One, what you just mentioned, Cecil. And so the question begs, though, for my step on some toes when I asked this, but for the sins of an individual's past that were maybe done in immaturity or ignorance, how far do we go back to say, nope, you still get canceled? Because it maybe was something done out of purity. Because Abe, you say, listen, I'm thinking about some of my Black History Month experiences outside of the teachers that I had who were intentional, like Mrs. Randolph, who grew up in Louisiana during the Civil Rights Movement. So she made sure to take Black History Month and make it feel like it was Black History Year. Okay, Black History Month was all throughout the school year. But the majority of my experiences during Black History Month, they didn't talk about the minstrel shows and blackface and how disrespectful that was. So I guarantee you there is a large segment of society who does not even realize that it is wrong, that it is bad, or was wrong or bad back when they did it. And so now that they're more educated, it's like, oh shoot, but the receipts are out there. So at what point do we say, yeah, okay, like
so
you either A, if you fess up and say, yeah, I missed the boat on that. Or if it's pointed out to them and we say, okay, after the fact, hey, like you did that back then, no bueno. Dang, my bad. Do we still cancel for that?
So my response to this, and I'm glad you asked that, because there is a situation that low key touches upon what you're asking and what Cecil mentioned too. So y'all know that show Big Mouth on Netflix?
Mm-hmm. Oh, so, got it. Yeah.
So the actress that played Missy, the little black girl Missy on the show, her name is Jenna something, Staley, I believe.
Yeah.
She recently came out and said that she's stepping away from the show because she was playing a biracial Jewish girl who is dark skinned. who's basically can't be white passing in any sense.
Mhm.
And before, so the thing was, people brought it up before a few years ago,
Mhm.
but it never picked up steam. Just like you mentioned, C. So it's like a few years ago, people were like, some people spoke on it, but it wasn't really given any attention. And she justified it by saying, well, I'm white and Jewish, which is 2/3 of what Missy's character is.
Mhm.
She's black, she's white, and she's Jewish. All right, you fit 2/3. I mean, again, that her being black is significant because for me, when I watch shows and whatnot, cartoons, I always assume that black characters are being played by black people because it just makes sense to me. Now, I also thought the same thing with male characters and female characters, but apparently that's not true in the slightest. Like I didn't know Tommy was voiced by a woman from Rugrats until like 20 years after the fact. And I was like, dang, okay. But at least when it comes to like someone playing a black character, a Muslim character, I always thought that it was an actual person who identified the same way. So again, Flack was brought up. It didn't really pick up steam, but she herself made the initiative to come out and say, you know what, I'm stepping away because I realize now that it's not fair. I'm taking away from the black experience. I'm taking opportunity away. I'm not fully representing this character to the best of my ability. Okay, so when someone does that, when they take the time out to acknowledge what they've done before cancel culture has to make its wave around, that means much more to me. That's someone that I can be like, all right, you're going to get your flack. These jokes are going to fly.
Yeah.
But at least you caught it before we did. Or you came out publicly before the second wave of cancel culture came around for we did.
Like, don't let us catch it.
Yeah. So for Jenna Marbles, for the YouTube Jenna, for her to have so much content, like I understand that she may have just forgotten about it because it happened early in her YouTube career.
Yeah.
I understand that. Like you mentioned, she may not have had that voice to teach her, like, yo, blackface definitely isn't wrong. But at the same time, nowadays, you have to be like conscious of what you've done. I'm not a big celebrity at all, but I went back and I said, you know what? Let me check my Twitter and see if I ever use homophobic slurs. Bro. Let me see if I ever demean black women. And my stuff came back clean. I searched up all the possible words I need to search up. Came back cool. I'm like, all right, cool. So publicly on Twitter, I'm not saying stuff like that. And I'm saying this now. I'm opening up myself to get, if we got people who are that serious, and by all means, I invite you to do so, because if I did some terrible stuff that slipped through the crack, I need to own up to it. Yeah. So for you as such a prominent figure, you've had 3.5 billion views. You are the YouTube OG when it comes to streaming and making a platform and making money from it. For you not to be like, let me review what I've done, especially since I don't know if when the whole protest started, she came out and said, I stand with Black Lives or whatnot. Because if she did that, then it's like, yo, but did you look back to see what you did? Because that would have been perfect time right there to be like, I stand with Black Lives Matter, and I myself know I need to do work because I did some stuff. So it's just like, it.
But I got a question then: is cancel culture native to the black community, or does this like how? No. So I asked this question then: should we cancel The Simpsons?
Why so? I don't really pay attention to The Simpsons like that.
Who's supposed to be an Indian convenience store owner is voiced by Hank Azaria, who was the writer, producer, all that stuff for the show, who was a white man. So
good point.
I think the nuance is the other piece that I think cancel culture is missing, is that nuance of saying
they're too selective sometimes.
They're too selective, and they are too quick to be judge, jury, and executioner. Too quick to rush to execution instead of let's hear this thing out. Let's see this thing played out. Because without that aspect, we fail, I think, to extend grace to cases where people did things purely in ignorance. And if people dug up, like you said, Abe, if people dug up dirt on you, like God forbid you have some dirt in your past on your Twitter, and people dug that up, and you could probably give a great explanation. Dude, I was ignorant and dumb. I'm sorry. But people still be like, nope, nope. He's got to go. Nope. He's
So
got
I
to go.
agree.
And
And so with YouTube Jenna, like what she did, I'm not upset with her saying that she's going to take away. It's just that I'm more upset with the fact that she's another case of people who were cool and thought blackface was cool. But
got it.
as we just learned now, you yourself were never taught just how significant blackface was. For me, from a young age, I always knew that it was wrong. It was terrible. It was bad. So yeah, but I do agree that cancel culture is really quick to be executioner. I mean, that's the whole downside of social media era, is that as soon as you see it, everybody's like, oh, cancel.
Yep.
And I get it. Some people deserve to be canceled or are unapologetic, such as Jaden McNeil, who wasn't even a celebrity. But that boy needs to be canceled. And the people in defense of him,
Tweet.
I don't even want to read the tweet that he said, and even though he deleted it, don't worry. Social media they got receipts. Receipts. Someone took a screenshot.
Just look up Jaden McNeil, George Floyd. That's all you need to do. We're not even going to honor his not even ignorance, his vile hatred. And he may say on his Twitter bio that he's a Christian. Nah, we ain't claiming that. Listen, nah, bro. That's from the pits of hell, man. No.
Saying and the people defending him saying like, "Yo, it's just a joke."
No, that's not, we don't joke around about stuff like that. If you are in this time and you're still joking around ignorantly about stuff like that, or still joking around about stuff like that, I put air quotes for those of y'all who can't see my face. There's something wrong with your head and your heart as a human being. That's what this whole time period that we're sitting in right now is exposing, is the vile, despicable nature of people's hearts. It is ugly. But once again, I ask, who is influencing the influencers? It's not just having yes men around you, but it's having a homogenous crew around you. People who look like you, think like you, talk like you, do everything just like you. And because of that, you don't have any other flavor or perspective speaking into you. Me, Cecil, and Abe do not agree on everything. I'll tell you one thing for sure we don't agree on, and you heard it earlier in this podcast, is music. I remember season 1, we did the Kanye West episode, the Jesus King episode, and Cecil was the only person on that episode who enjoyed Kanye West's Jesus King album. The only person. And Cecil got dragged for it. But you know what? He stuck by his opinion. Yeah. If you have a homogenous circle, you are bound to make missteps like we are seeing be exposed, and the receipts will be there. And guess what? Your team won't be able to cover for you. I'll tell you that much. You can try to blame your team all day, but they will not be able to cover for you. And you will be the only one to have to stand before the public, before the cancel jury, and possibly face execution. Yes. So get some variety in your life. Have a Neapolitan looking circle. Okay.
Neapolitan.
You ain't never had Neapolitan.
I hate that ice cream though. To be honest, I hate that ice cream.
The Neapolitan milkshake at In-N-Out. Smacks.
Oh no, that's just too many flavors.
But you need that variety in your life. You need all of those things you need people who don't agree with everything. You need people who look at you and don't think that you walk on water. You need people who look at you and think and will tell you, I don't think that idea was good. Not every idea that you have is good. Why? Keeps you humble. Cecil mentioned this in regards to doing things your way. So listen, if you're a creative out there, you're listening to this, you need to take some serious notes, because there's some real gems being dropped in this episode.
Yes.
Stay humble, but have a crew around you who will help keep you humble. A non-homogenous crew. Okay? Exactly. Non-homogenous. Wait, Cecil. There we are. We live.
Remember.
Well,
you gotta play
we are back and we are bake. Well, today we was definitely on our Joe Budden vibes. This is close to a 2-hour.
We stopped at an hour and 24 on the first part, so this one is going to continue. Maybe another 10-15 minutes.
Not bad.
Just listen to it in chunks if you got to, because there's jewels. We got jewels.
For those who have listened, appreciate you guys. We actually covered a lot of ground. Things are definitely opening back up, but still take precautions, still stay safe. Again, we have not forgotten people that have passed away, that have died tragically to these deaths by just random people and even police. I know this person. Shout out to Baby Huey. He passed away. 32, I believe, 32 years old. Shot and killed. This I believe yesterday. To this time of this recording, yesterday. So rest in peace to Baby Huey. And to all those who have lost their lives. Especially during this time. I know this, like we said, the climate's high, tensions are high. But we just encourage people to make the right decisions, y'all. Make good choices. Don't let your irritation get you caught up in some trouble.
Big facts.
Or something stupid. At the end of the day, some stuff just ain't worth it. I mean,
That part.
Bigger fish to fry. We got racism. We got this COVID still happening. We got stuff to fight. We got business to tend to. And so, my hope, and I'm sure Abraham's and Ozan's hope is to make sure that keep the peace. Sounds cliche, but serious. Like, keep the peace. Your household, community, your loved ones, your friends, and make sure that keep that peace and keep a level head, keep a postured heart, and continue to do well. Episode 6. This is episode 6. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you guys for watching on YouTube. If you're
This is episode
7, bro. It's episode
7. We on 7.
Man.
Oh man, we on 7. We on 7. Episode 7. If you're listening on Apple and Spotify, thank you guys so much. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with us. Season 2, by the way. I gotta stop saying sucks.
It's okay.
See, there I go again. But thank you guys for watching episode 7. If you have not caught any other of the old episodes, please do, including this one on the craftfactory.org/podcast, or just head to our website overall to check us out. We thank you guys so much. We are not doing the devotional. Devotional has wrapped up. Enjoy your tacos. Song of the week. Who we got? Black Effect freestyle by Armand and Taylor Gray. Huge reviews, big waves of reviews from Ozan.
Oh, not by Slack.
He was the one.
Six Slack.
Six Slack.
Come on.
I heard that and I was like, oh, was that the song that was on
Six
there?
Black
But it's not. It's totally
released a song, but I believe it was a song. It was a song.
No, Six Slack or Black Slack. He released an EP, but this song that we're gonna go on the outro, I think it was a single that was released.
Six Black released a project, right? A mini project on his birthday at the time.
Happy birthday to him, because
shout
that
out
means
to
Six
Six Black.
Happy belated.
Six Black. But
Slack,
song of the week
Six
is
Slack.
Black Effect. See, I'm copying your speech.
Black. That's what it is. Black.
Black Effect freestyle by Armand and Taylor Gray.
Black.
Signing out because y'all tripping.
You need to go.
We gotta go. Peace out, y'all. See y'all Friday.
Oh boy.